I'm Dr. Fred Ogola. I'm a professor of strategy and decision making at Statmo Business School. I am also a director at TBS. This week in the news, we saw that the Energy Ministry risks around 11 billion claim over illegal diesel taxes, which means that they have been collecting taxes, over collecting taxes from diesel marketers and motorists. The other thing we have seen that the global economists has upgraded that Kenyan economy will grow by 5.5%, given the fact that we have been able now to confirm that we have a president-elect. That's a rise by 0.1%. Also, we see that stock market gains around 102 billion shillings, which is record highest single jump ever. Maybe this still being attributed to the fact that the transition is taking place positively in Kenya thanks to the President Uhuru Kenyatta. We also see that another thing coming interesting is that market gains around another 42 billion after court upholds President Uhuru, let's say President-elect William Ruto's victory. Something surprising is that China fish market imports hits a 2 billion record, and in fact that means that China fish market now controls over 83% of the fish market in Kenya. Very unfortunate for the Kenyan entrepreneurs in this sector. KRA locks around 540 farms out of the tax amnesty program which was there. And last but not least, which is gonna focus on the most important segment in this week, is Ruto's uphill task in reversing the SGR Jubilee policies, which means the policies which were put in place by President Uhuru Kenyatta, the issue of Port of Mombasa, Naivasha Port, SGR, all those projects that President Uhuru Kenyatta had put in place. He's going to revise most of them because he said it was his policy in the Kenya Kwanza manifesto. And now this week, if you look at all these decisions, all these highlights, they oscillate around the Supreme Court decision. Supreme Court decision was expected to really be transformative, whether you took Kenya Kwanza or Azimio. But the main segment we want to focus this week is when Supreme Court decision was made, those people celebrated, but I don't think many Kenyans were very happy with this. It was not even expected because you can say that the last decision made by the Supreme Court was highly celebrated, and the Supreme Court was actually echoed to have come of age. These statements don't seem to come this time, and now that gives us a hypothesis. The Supreme Court, did Supreme Court really make a supreme ruling, or if you like, judgment, or Supreme Court made a pedestrian judgment? My bet is that Supreme Court did not live to the expectation of the people. The word supreme can even compare to supreme being, which sometimes is attributed to God. They didn't make that godly Solomonic decision, according to me. And I want to use science to prove this. First and foremost, let's look at the narrative here. There's a word which is called exegesis. I have 5 undergraduate degrees, one of them being theology. As a theologian, there's a science called exegesis. Exegesis is the science of analyzing text to confirm whether this text was attributed to the right person, or to confirm whether this text reflects the ideal sense. This was used to confirm the authenticity or lack of all the biblical books that we read in the Bible, whether they can be attributed to Jesus or some of them were just apocalypse, which are rejected gospels that are in the books of the Testament. So let me give you an example. Have you heard about the war in the Gulf, which is taking place between the Israelites and the Palestinians? The problem of contention is that Israelites believe that the God promised them land, so they were promised a land when they were living in Egypt, so they moved from Egypt and went to Israel, and that land belongs to them, but Palestinians believe that that's their land. So this war has been there, is not ending. It has a religious, if you like, origin, but to be honest, it's a fake thing. Why am I saying so? We have done what's called exegesis to prove that Israelites were not in Egypt. And there's facts that can prove that. Because we don't see Israelites speaking languages which are Egyptian driven. You can't tell me you lived in a certain land for over 50 years and never picked a single word from that place. Neither do we see some Egyptian dialect in the Semitic language that is spoken by the Israelites. It is like telling me that I took my family to go live in Kirinyaga for 50 years, then after that we migrate back to Kisumu, and none of my children, not my grandchildren, can speak a single word in Kikuyu. They cannot even call a mango in Kikuyu. They cannot even say a greeting in Kikuyu. That should be a miracle. So this is what I'm talking about, the difference between the Supreme Court that we know and the ruling they make. It does not make sense. For the following reason, let's go through it. It was a supreme battle between Raila Amolo Odinga and Ruto. This was for sure in the campaigns and everywhere. Now, after President-elect Ruto was declared the winner, Raila Odinga contested, and he took what I call a supreme petition to Supreme Court. So you remember a supreme battle ending with a supreme petition. In the Supreme Court, we had supreme legal teams, because you can see Kenya Kwanza, IBC, Raila Odinga. They were the best lawyers that money can buy in Supreme Court. So there was a supreme legal battle between these lawyers reporting to very well qualified supreme judges. And then of course you can find that even there were some unjoined parties which are also supreme. And the Supreme Court, without a doubt, had supreme judges, the likes of Smoking Wanjala, Martha Koome, Lenaola. You can name them. They are supreme judges. They were given what's called a supreme responsibility to adjudicate on the matter and offer a supreme judgment. How did they deliver what I call a pedestrian ruling, if not a pedestrian judgment? This is very clear. In that reading, we saw words like, this was a lost cause, this was hot air, this was a goose chase, this was the words we use there. In fact, if you look at one ruling about the fact that when they say that there is voter suppression, Martha Koome simply said it was common knowledge that Kakamega was postponed and Mombasa gubernatorial seat contest was postponed. Common knowledge. Do we hire a Supreme Court with the judiciary having around 8.1 billion budget to tell us what is common knowledge? If you look at these terms being used throughout, I saw them on Twitter handle for UDA, like Dennis Itumbi and the likes. The words they were using to refer to the petition were actually put into the judgment. So it's my suspicion that the judgment of Supreme Court was written for them and they only came to read it. Whoever read it, I don't know, but I can use exegesis to prove that I don't see the brilliant minds of the judges there in that ruling. Those words, they were never used before in other petitions. Even the 2013, which was thrown away, was not used. Look here, in 2013, when Raila went to court, the court said the process does not matter, it is the number that matter. So they threw away the petition because process didn't matter. When we come in 2017, they said the number is not the issue is the process and the number matter, and they threw away the case because they threw away the election of President Uhuru Kenyatta because the process was not followed, and they ordered another fresh election. When it came to BBI of 2021, they said the BBI was a great thing and was meant well for the population. But they said the process of the BBI was wrong, so they threw away BBI because the process was wrong. And now when we come now to 2022, they are saying that it is not the process that matters, it is the number that matters. So even if the process to elect deputy president was wrong, it didn't affect the numbers, therefore they uphold his election, meaning that the constitution does not matter. What matters is the numbers the person got. Now, this is a contradiction, and you can see it. And in jurisprudence, we can see some of the judges in this Supreme Court were there in 2013. They're the ones who are making the ruling again in 2017. They made the ruling in BBI. We can't see consistency. And in the reading of the judgment, we don't see their legal minds speaking here. Remember, Smoking Njala was known to be, let's say, a civil society lawyer. He was an activist. We don't see activism here. We are just seeing somebody who has read. So what is the common denominator here? The common denominator here is hard to be because, for example, these judges were taught in different world. Martha Koome even did a master in UK. They did law degrees in very many different places. We see them also coming from different regions of the world. In fact, other petitions, they were able to do what is called dissent. I found it incredibly difficult that 9 petitions can have 7 judges agreeing unanimously without dissenting. In my home, I have a wife, I have a son, and I have a daughter. Sometimes when we say, where are we going shopping, we don't seem to have unanimous agreement. We have to really lobby to agree. And this is just one petition. Where are we doing shopping? We try to talk about what time do we go for mass. We have to really consolidate and bargain and agree, but there will be some people dissenting. Then I have used veto power to make things work, which means it is really rare that 7 judges, 7 legal minds, 3 females and 4 males can agree on 9 petitions without a single dissent unanimously. This for sure was a Supreme Court making a pedestrian ruling. Transparent plus transparent plus transparent should give you transparent results. But here we had a case whereby transparent plus transparent plus transparent gave us opaque results. In this situation, Supreme Court, we had a Supreme petition, 9 petitions. We had Supreme Court judges. We had Supreme lawyers. We had a Supreme responsibility, which is the Constitution. And the judgment was pedestrian. In this sense, we have Supreme plus Supreme plus Supreme should give you Supreme. But here we have Supreme plus Supreme plus Supreme giving you pedestrian ruling. Thank you.